Welcome back. We're still looking at the task ahead, transparency in the oil sector. Currently, Nigerians are going through a tough time across the country in the bid to get petrol for their vehicles and their generators. And I was trying to hold back a smile. It's okay. So, hello. Okay, so it's so tight that the price of
I'm sorry. Forgive me,
please forgive her. And the price of petrol has jumped beyond the fixed price of 87 naira per liter to some close to, in some places, 100, some other places 200. Somebody actually bought from a fuel station at 250 naira per liter. Now, many people feel it's not about the price right now. If you want us to pay 1,000 naira, now some people will shoot me for saying that. If you want us to pay 1,000 naira, by all means, but where is the product? So, is it possible to achieve transparency in that sector, which is considered the darkest sector in the socioeconomic sphere of Nigeria by a lot of people? Let's see if we can answer some of these questions. We do have in the studio the Secretary General of the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Olawore. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Incidentally, this is the second time in less
Second
than a
time in
month.
2 weeks.
Must be a situation you have to sort out here.
I think so.
Okay. Then Oji Udemezwe is a financial and management consultant. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Always my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Lowry, let's begin with it. We also have somebody else joining us from our studio in Abuja before we ask Mr. Lowry that question. Mr. Henry Adigun, Oil Governance Consultant. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if I should begin with Henry, but let me begin with you because you know the situation on ground and to some extent you contributed. You're not the sole player there, but you contributed to the situation on ground. What's the current situation now?
Let me start by saying that those of us in the oil sector always pray and hope that we don't have scarcity. Because once you do, the problems that arise take longer to resolve. And it takes longer not only because of the product, but because it takes some time to get the confidence back. Confidence in the sense that what they are saying, is that true? If I get it, would I get it? How long would it take? And so you find many people still not too sure. Now the current situation is that we have product given to us by PPMC, and we are doing our best to distribute the product. Remember, the whole country is dry, and therefore what we have from Lagos, we are taking them out to Lagos, to other states in the southwest, to Abuja. Almost every part of the country relies on Lagos. So that's why it's taking a longer time to clear.
But yet, those that are doing the black market business seem to have
They always seem
products
to find.
consistently.
You see, on my part, I like to look at it differently. Immediately there's a disruption in the supply and demand, or supply and distribution balance or imbalance. All sorts of characters come into the scene. And you find people who are normally good become the other one. They want to make money. There's no official policy from any marketer that fuel should be sold beyond the government approved price. There's no statement from any marketer that says patronize people buying in jerry cans.
Mr.
But
Lowry.
once there's a problem, you find people behaving anyway.
Mr. Lowry,
And we have had cause to sanction some people of recent.
from an NNPC station,
Yeah.
I bought fuel at 112 naira.
Is it
Because the pump said 87.
yeah.
Then when you get there with your car and whatever, they'll tell you it's not 87, it's 112. And when they finish, they bring a calculator and do the math for you.
Yeah, that is rather unfortunate. And even though I don't work in NNPC, if you let me know the outlet, I have a good working relationship with the MD of NNPC Retail. And immediately after this program, I'll call him. Because it's not supposed to be so. But the real problem is that the supply is just coming out. Immediately after this program, I'm going to all the depots that's major marketers. I don't have much control over the depot owners. I'm going to all the depots to ensure that the products continue to come out.
In yesterday's paper, somebody was quoted to have said that, well, one of those who are selling to the filling stations said that they're loading at 110 naira, so they can't afford to sell it at 87. How true is that?
That will probably not be any major oil marketer's depot. For us, we sell to them at below, I think it's about 70 something naira, so that they can also make the required margin as stipulated. For any major marketer's depot, it cannot happen. That I'm very sure.
Okay. Mr. Odemeze, now that we have a new government, do you think we're likely to see more light shed into the oil and gas sector in Nigeria?
For me, it is not something we have any other choice about. It's something that must happen. Nigerians are suffering intensively. And it's a double jeopardy in the sense that we are not just struggling to fuel our cars. We're also struggling to fuel our generators in our houses to be able to live normal life. People are getting frustrated, people are getting hypertensive, and people are in fact dying. Because there are some people who are not used to living without having at least a fan, or let me not talk about air conditioner, but a fan over their head when they are sleeping, because of one health condition or the other. And now they are being forced to live that way. And some of them are just practically dropping dead. We don't have statistics to show how many people that have died in this country in the past 2 weeks. But I can tell you it is so horrifying. And you can't even quantify the amount of time. I know the value of my time. Other people who know the value of their time, and they have to practically spend hours at the fuel station to look for, we know that we are losing a lot of money. You know, in developed economies, we should be talking about billions of dollars that we lose every day because of this fuel crisis. So the incoming government has no choice other than to address this issue, to face it frontally. We need transparency. We need proper governance. Even to inspect the major marketers, won't do it. Once you have a situation of scarcity, it's simple economics. Once there is a serious scarcity of a product, different kinds of behavior will continue to occur. People will be desperate to get this product, and those who have it want to make money out of the economy. We are economic agents. Once you cannot find this product, last week before I left Lagos, people asked me to pay for 9,000 naira for 10 liters of petrol, and I was like, how did we get here? And Nigeria is the 7th largest producer of petroleum, crude oil in the whole world. How did we get here? So there are several issues, right from the upstream sector to the midstream sector that's not developed yet, to the downstream sector. What are we not doing right? Why should we even be in this situation? Maybe that, for me, is the direction of this discussion. I'm not going to concern myself about how do I get petrol now, at the fuel station. That is unthinkable.
All right, let's ask Mr. Adigun. Mr. Adigun, you are involved in the governance, in the management, basically, of the oil sector, so to speak. Bring us up to speed as regards what goes on in there, and how is it that we got to this point, as Mr. Odemeze said?
Thank you. The issue has not faced facts totally. Looking at it from a perspective of solving problems in quick terms. The question you should ask is, what is subsidy? Who is benefiting from subsidy? And why is there subsidy in the first place? Over the years, we've tried to address subsidy through removals. Always been a crisis. Every government takes a part of it off. It comes back again. The issue we're going through right now is caused by several problems. There are financial issues. there's lack of domestic capacity, there are issues around transparency, there are issues around the governance of the sector itself, and the biggest issue is about consumer behavior as it were as well, which is what Mr. Larry was referring to. I see this problem as the fact that we have not dealt with the real issue of why is government a player in that market? Why is there no strong regulator in that market? Why are we spending money that we could spend on better things on subsidy? If you look at the history of subsidy in Nigeria, starting from 2006, we moved from 25 million liters a day to 60 million in 2011. Then we reverted back to 2012 to 46.9 million liters. That tells you that there's a lot of fraud we're subsidizing.